it might be a no beanie scenario. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you are listening to the Bomb Hole.
Bomb Hole Podcast.
It's going to be very hot. It's going to be very uncomfortable for everybody.
The Bomb Hole.
You gonna slide down them big hills, you know what I mean, on the big, nice burgundy snowboard.
We got a new intro. Slide down them hills on a big, nice burgundy snowboard. That's Ghostface Killer. That was found by Avert Guldeman, Harry Hagen, and then Matty Moe dropped it into the intro. So we got to thank those guys for that beautiful find. Now, Stony Butts, how we doing today, man?
We haven't even started yet. 4 bubbly waters deep. So I'm doing pretty well.
Perfect. You got to stay hydrated out here. We got a big guest today. We got Paul A.K.A. B Proddy. Proddy, what's happening?
what up? What up?
Hell yeah. Well, we are psyched to have you in the booth today. You are, little fun fact, originally born in New Hampshire,
Vermont, right?
Yeah, well, so born in a New Hampshire hospital in Lebanon, New Hampshire. Closest hospital to the house in Bradford, Vermont.
Dude, I'm pretty sure my dad was born in that hospital.
No way.
Yeah.
Crazy.
If not born, grew up in that town for sure.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
Great. So you're VT.
Yes, I guess, yeah, technically Vermont roots. Moved from Vermont to Jackson when in 99, so I was 6, 7. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody thinks you're Jackson dogger, but you got the VT. They're both kind of crunchy locations.
Yeah.
If you're going to move from Vermont, though, Jackson, that's a pretty good move right there.
Yeah, my parents did it. They wish they had done it. They were like, oh, I wish we had done it like 10 years earlier. Basically, my dad just got a job out there, and they were like, oh, yeah, like, you got to move out here, try it out. They were trying it for a year and decided to stay, which is kind of common story.
Were you guys, like, outdoorsy family? What was the family vibe going on?
Yeah, for sure. So, like, super outdoorsy family. My brother, I think everybody skied until my brother started snowboarding, and then I was always looking up to my older brother. Basically, like, I wanted to start snowboarding when I was super young. My whole family was, like, switched over to snowboarding. And I was talking to my mom the other day, and she was like, yeah, snowboarding, like, that had an influence on our move to Jackson. Like, not only was it just to, like, you know, be outside, move to the west, have more space, maybe deal with, like, less harsh winters, whatever. But snowboarding, like, actually had, like, a play in that, which is pretty cool, which I didn't really, like, think that much. I just thought they were super into the outdoors and climbing, hiking, backpacking, all that type of stuff. Yeah.
That's sick. So both your parents board too, rippers.
Yeah, they do, and they still do. They're like, my dad's like 72, I think.
You got a good back 7 or what's
No, they kind of only rip when there's a couple inches of snow.
Oh,
They're like fair weather snowboarders. You know, it's got to be like 6 inches or more. We'll take you out of school. We'll like powder day. We'll wait in the line, whatever. Ride till 12. Bounce.
Your dad's 72?
Yeah.
No shit.
I think. Hopefully, maybe 71.
Well, you know what? That kind of leads us right into an early question from our good friend Dirt Bike Dan, a.k.a. Danimals.
Hey, Bomb. This is Danimals here. What's up, dudes? Yo, Blake, who were the people in your life as a little kid, you know, friends, family, whatever, who were the people in your life that made you want to continue snowboarding because of them?
Yeah, so early on it was my brother who definitely had the influence, snowboarding, skateboarding, just showing me what was good, like the videos, whatever. And then, yeah, later on it was, you know, friends like Brian and Gucci has a huge influence on me to kind of keep going. He helped bring me up. He showed me kind of like, feel like the right reasons to kind of get into snowboarding. Let's see, who else? I don't know. When you start snowboarding with, like, your close friends, like Sam and Griffin and kind of everybody here, Arthur, like, those are the people that keep me going now. Like, I'm, like, definitely hyped on that. But
that's pretty crazy. Like, most people grow up in riding smaller hills or, you know, not being around pros, but you had, like, Brian and Gucci and Mark Carter and people like that in Jackson. That's got to be kind of crazy having Gooch having your back from an early day.
Yeah.
Straight up ledge.
That's just like being fortunate that my parents moved there. And then, so I had even started snowboarding. My parents actually did a little bit of like snowboard instructing back in the day. I remember like being at the hill mad young, like 5 years old. And so as soon as we came to Jackson, basically like met a couple friends that were like kind of my age. They were into snowboarding, and then got on the snowboard team. Like, and then once you're there, like it's not the biggest scene, or it wasn't the biggest scene back then. And so you kind of like know who everybody is. You'd see people like Travis around, or Gooch, or like Alex Yoder, even though he was only like, he was kind of my sister's age, like 6 years older than me, maybe a little less. But yeah, around the time when it became like, I'm like really into this, I'm going to pursue this, it was probably Gooch that like knew kind of the steps to bring me through, and Carter that were like taking me out and still do.
Yeah.
And that's just like kind of, I guess, the fortune of growing up in Jackson, you know, and riding the mountain. Like the mountain is just like kind of breeded that community, which is kind of a little bit lackluster in some places these days. Obviously it's great here in Salt Lake, but yeah.
What do you mean lackluster? Just the resorts not that tight?
I don't know. I just feel like in Jackson, like they definitely have an awesome snowboard team going, and there's like a couple kids coming up for sure. Or maybe it's just like I'm far away from it now, but you know, more touristy, more fancy, less kind of grassroots style. Like we were going to the local hill like after school, and just kind of like there was a couple of us, and we were like going to all the contests trying super hard. And there definitely is still kids doing that and all that, but I just feel like there's less of like, there's so many good kids these days. Like not everybody's going to have the opportunity to like meet the local pro in their town and get like fostered up on how to like do stuff. Yeah. And like, that's just unfortunately the bad luck, but
Gooch is like the ultimate mentor of all mentors.
Well, and especially a tourist mountain like that too, like Jackson. There's so many tourists coming through there.
Yeah, and you know, it grows, which it has to, and everything has to evolve, and it will. But yeah, I think like back in the day, it had a little bit more of like hometown vibe. Like Travis came out, you're like, I don't know, I was into it. It was the only thing we had going. The winters were like, I was like snowboarding, skateboarding, like kind of just like that's what I was into. I played soccer a little bit. Like
the skate park's pretty fun though. I love that little park.
We had an awesome like skate park, awesome like group that was there, awesome group at the mountain. A lot of like snowboard coaches, Rob Kingwell. Yeah.
I'm gonna give Kingwell a little air horn.
Yeah, super inspiring dude. Yeah, OG.
What I was kind of wondering is like how you got sponsored. Did you come up doing contests and then, or did you just ride the mountain a lot, or did you film anything, or what did it look like before you got sponsored in that progression?
So yeah, back in the day, like me and my friend Cam Walters, Cam Fitzpatrick, we had like a couple other friends that were like in our group, but mostly it was like us, and we were super hyped on like filming each other, and like with maybe it was like a GL2 we got, and yeah, just being on the snowboard team. And we traveled to some contests, and we weren't really sponsored, but eventually it was people like Rob Kingwell, and there was this other skier, Rick Armstrong in Jackson. But yeah, I got involved with these people in Jackson, and they put me on North Face's radar, which kind of just like started out with some free gear, like way back when I was young, doing like USASA contests, and then somehow just continued to evolve. And yeah, it was that, and I think it was like a rep for GNU that was like a local Rockies rep, and then it was Vans came later, and yeah.
And then around that time period, is that when you started to film with A Rob, or he kind of took you under his wing?
Yeah, so like we kind of had a local little crew. We had like Fun Block Films, I called it, or we kind of coined the term, and we like made a couple like homie videos, mad young, like early high school, whatever. And then I had seen Yoder filming with Sam Tor, and I had heard about A Rob, and I had kind of seen that they were filming like more like legit stuff, like, you know, you see like the HVX in the Backcountry or whatever, and he's gonna edit, and he had like previous videos that had came out. And so yeah, basically A Rob introduced me to kind of like backcountry filming one year, like, and Alex introduced me to A Rob, and he had kind of taken me under his wing randomly, just like I think he maybe saw something in me, you know, whatever. He like would really hype me up in all these situations, kind of like, yeah, you're coming out filming with us. Or when we would go ride the mountain, it was like, oh, like the energy was insane. Like you got to fly off this, or just kind of like pushing. It's like being around that infectious dude. And he like took me under his wing. I ended up filming a little bit for his video. And Alex Pashley brought me out to Silverton. So I had a little bit of footage with him in Silverton and a little bit of footage with like A Rob and Yoder and Jackson, and then that it kind of just ended up like that it was going to go in their video, in Sam Torres' video that he was making like the following season. But that was like probably the first real video. I was like, oh, I'm actually filming for a video. Like I'm out on a snowmobile. Like this is kind of crazy. It wasn't my own, but I was getting
still in
double.
high school at this point, right?
Yeah, I was still in high school. Like last year of high school, my mom worked as a guidance counselor in the school district. And I was able to get winter off, basically, where I did like my winter online, but I already had like finished it in the fall. So it was like winter was just like off. I went to school like first quarter and in the spring. And yeah, actually in the spring of that same year, I was up in Canada on a North Face like shoot, like first shoot ever. And my vice principal called me and he was like, call me on my cell phone in Canada. And I was like, what's going on here? I'm like on the way home, but I didn't think I was going to be home for a couple days or something. And he was like, hey, so in order to graduate, you have to like attend class for like a certain amount of days. Even though you missed like the winter, you still need to show up for this fourth quarter, like a certain percentage of the days, or else you can't graduate because of state laws. So I was like, well, I'm like in Canada, I'm like on this shoot. It's going to be like a couple days before I'm back. So like, I'm not going to make it. And he's like, okay, well, you need to be like back in school by tomorrow. So I was like, okay, well then like, I won't make it back. So I hang up and we both hang up. And he's like, I'll see what I can do, whatever. And then I'm just like off the phone. I'm like, well, whatever. Like I'm on a big trip. Like, I think I went to like my first super park before this too. And I was like, I'm like, whatever, not going to graduate. And then he called me back like half hour later and he was like, hey, I put it in the system. Like, you're going to just be like permanently like that you're here, like you're attendant or whatever, or you're present. And like, we'll just, if any teachers say anything, just say you're working like directly with me and like just in my office to finish up your work or whatever. Pretty insane. So that dude,
We get an air horn.
Yeah, that guy is a G.
yeah, Jim Rooks.
Jim Rooks.
There's not a lot of that
think.
out there, I feel like. My principal never, or vice principal, never had done
He might
that
still
shit.
work in the school district, so
Dude,
hopefully he
what
doesn't
an
get
OG.
fired for that.
Props.
Yeah, it's like, and we got to come in, Jim. We got to talk about Blake Paul. You know,
There's a huge superintendent meeting. Everyone gets together.
another thing I think
He did the right thing, though, this guy.
100%. And I gotta give a major shout out to your mom. She's gonna get an air horn because those moms and those parents that believe in their kids when they're in high school and are like, no, like not controlling, like they see the passion. It's like, look, this guy's he's doing great now.
Yeah.
He's doing great. Just got a crib. I mean,
Bought a
wow.
house.
I feel like it's just awesome now that they have those programs that when I was younger, you couldn't do that. There wasn't even the option to do what you did. You were basically just not graduating.
Yeah, we got lucky with that. I got super lucky with having my mom believing in me and my parents like fully just like supporting on what I wanted to do. When it came to like that year and we were like thinking about touring schools, like there was a school in Florida that I was looking at going to as just interested in video, but it was more my parents just saying like, you got to look and do it. And I'm like, I'm not going to go anywhere. I looked at like Westminster too, maybe. And I was on a trip, I think at Hood or something in the summer, and they had already planned for all of us to go to Florida, and they were gonna like fly my grandma out and stuff, and they just went.
Dude,
and I didn't go because I was on a snowboard trip, and they were still down to just like go. And I think they might have toured the school. Like I don't even know.
Blake's
just because like
He
maybe they just
would've
wanted
been
to go through the process.
Spring break Blake, dude. It would have been dope.
No, but they knew.
It's almost hard to say.
Known for his partying. Spring break Blake.
Say it fast. That would have been a whole different person sitting here. You'd be all tanned, freaking out on a jet ski.
Super good at beer pong.
Yeah, beer pong, jet skiing.
Dude, I would not be here.
Jet ski pro.
Although Lick the Cat was kind of like Lick the Frat a little bit at times. So who knows? You hang with some of those guys.
Yeah, that had some Florida vibes.
That had some heavy Florida vibes.
Yeah.
But I wanted to keep talking about the winter you filmed for that project, and then like kind of transition to what happened that summer when you guys went down to Chile
Okay, yeah, for sure.
with A Rob and everything.
Yeah, so that year, like, he took me under his wing. I don't really know, like, how else to say it. Like, maybe it's like a cliche term, but it, like, happened, and I'm, like, so grateful for that. And then that summer came up. We went to Hood. We filmed some stuff at Hood. He met us. He, like, rolled through. Like, Hood was, like, flew in or drove in or something. He had this crazy old car. I can't remember, but it's some car that, like, took on this whole character. And we, like, rode Hood for a couple of days, and then on his way out to go to the airport, he's like, let's do the zoo bomb. And we like went and did the zoo bomb, which is like you take the train up and then you to the zoo in Portland and you like bomb down. And we all bombed down, and then he like dropped him off like half hour before his flight, and just like, what the hell is this guy on, you know? And he's like, oh, just like keep my snowboard stuff. And we're just like, all right. So it's kind of sick, still have his board, whatever. And he's like, well, we'll meet up in Cali. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I think I can go on this. Like, I had just started having some travel budget, and I had worked at a Thai restaurant in Jackson for a couple of years. Shout out Teton Thai, and like saved up mad money under the table, like just to like save up for this trip. And like kind of like in the beginning of it, or like when I could in the summer before, I just like didn't have money to like spend on stuff. I don't think I was really into partying yet, or anything. I was just like down to like kind of like snowboarding, whatever. And saved up money, and we met up in California. Was in California for like 5 days, just chilling in like Huntington Beach, like staying right there, just like cruising around. Like first time in Southern California with this dude, like skating around, just like kind of like experiencing that. He took me to like all the mags, introduced me to like, I think I had already known Bridges, but it was just kind of like a deeper connection, kind of like, hey, we're doing this movie, we're going to Chile, like Blake's coming, whatever. Like
Holy
just
shit,
like hooking me up.
Yeah, he fully introduced you to everybody. Like A Rob, that's like a full under the wing move to just kind of come and do that for somebody. That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been hooked up from like Sam and Griff here with like other contacts and sponsors and stuff like that, and getting involved with people in Salt Lake, with Jackson being somewhat close to Salt Lake in the contest. But A Rob definitely took me on like a level of like oh, like you're gonna film for a project that like maybe is a little bit more like meaningful or whatever. And yeah, then we flew down to Chile together. We were supposed to, just him and I, and we were supposed to do, like, the filmers were supposed to come in later. Like, Sam Tor was going to come in later, maybe have a photographer come in later, and Yoder was going to try to come meet up off of, like a buddy pass ticket or something. It was kind of just, like, we were rolling, like, sketch style, and Arron went down, like, every year to Chile, so he was like, I'm going down, like, you're coming with me, and, like, basically we're going to ride powder in August, and he's like hyping it all up. And we go down there and we're connected. Like we get like free tickets to the resort. Like he's showing me all around first time. It's just like insane, like staying right at the resort through some connection, like on the mountain, snows, we're riding like powder. And I think we rode like 2-3 days, and we kind of get like with these locals, and we decide we're going to like go ride off this like backside zone in El Colorado. So this is like kind of only like an hour and a half or 2 hours from Santiago. I don't know if you've been there, up that super windy road.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've been
I've
there.
been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stone knows. You know about like Valle Nevado and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in that area, and we like are riding, and we're about to drop into this one zone, and he kind of drops in, like yells some stuff, like does a little ollie. He just kind of like, yeah, like, woo, like cruises in, slashes. And then from my perspective, I can see him, he hits a rock, and he kind of like tumbles out of my view. And then you can kind of just hear like screaming and like moaning. And I think he was like first to drop. There might've been someone way far below him, but we were with like 2-3 other people, Chileans, like didn't speak very good English. And yeah, we basically like, I go down to him, we all go down to him, and he's like bleeding super gnarly, and he's unconscious, and he kind of is like, you know, he's not doing well. And these guys are huddled around him kind of by the time I get down there, but I kind of get up there and I kind of like see him, we're wrapping him up, but like, you know, we're pretty unprepared for the situation. Everybody that is there is pretty unprepared for the situation. Like, call ski patrol, they're like, you go up, you like get ski patrol, like you just hike back up this ridge. So I hike up this ridge to go like get ski patrol. And it was kind of like, I feel like he was kind of, the way that he looked, it was not gonna recover maybe, you know? Anyway, I waited up top, ski patrol came down, they got him down, they took him in a helicopter, we left the resort, we were like driving home or like back to like the hospital, whatever, and I just get a call, and it's just kind of like, hey, like it was Aaron's like kind of girlfriend that he was seeing down there that for like the last couple of years off and on or whatever, and she was like, hey, he's like passed away. And I was kind of just like pulled over the car, like got out, just like dry heaving, kind of just like, I think when you're that young, it just hits you like shock, you know.
How old were you?
I was 18. And
you were alone, right?
Yeah, so I was just like alone there, never been there, whatever. It's like, it seems like it's crazy telling the story, and like it is like, I don't know, it seems like you would like be freaking out, but somehow there was this crazy sense of like calm when it happened. And it was almost like I could like feel it, like I kind of felt him like kind of leave, like when I was up there chilling solo waiting for the ski patrol. And that's kind of what they said is like it happened, like even when he was like before he was.
It's crazy. You can feel
like,
people leave, right?
Yeah, and like I don't know, it just happened like that, and it was like basically, yeah, I had to deal with like a bunch of U.S. Embassy stuff, like all types of weird, like whatever, had to like tell some people, and that was the hard part. But I kind of just knew that like his brother decided to come down, that we were going to have people down, and that we were like going to finish off the video project in Chile. And that's, I think I just like went on that path.
Yesterday when we were skating and stuff, talking, you had a pretty interesting kind of mentality about that stuff. And you're kind of saying, you know, I was asking you about how sad it must have been and all this stuff. And you were saying kind of like, what would this person want me to do along those lines? I thought that was kind of a good mentality. Like,
yeah, you know, that kind of just fed like, or that would just kind of came naturally to me, just that vibe. Like, I know that he's gone, but like, if he was still around, he would want me to, this is what he would want us to do. He would want us to like, everybody to come down here, do whatever, get like, scratch everything they had going on in their life, see why he loved it so much, like down here, finish off his project, like create like this like last section kind of for it. And that was for like what ended up being called Arron Robinson's Manifest. And that was like the first video kind of I was in that was maybe like more seen. And I just knew that he would like that he created that for me. So I had to finish it off and kind of make it as best as we could. And we went down south like 7 hours from Santiago or something at a different resort, and we got it like super well. Like we got insane conditions at this resort, able to film like some backcountry jumps and like have like a couple good days of snow in Chile, which is like hard to get. And I've gone back to the same resort twice following years. In one trip, it didn't snow at all, and like not even a flake for like 10 days. And then
go there to Red Pound.
I've been on that same trip where it doesn't snow there. And you're like,
the other,
whoa.
Yeah, the other trip was like just wind like the whole time and just like brutal, whatever. We kind of got it, but didn't. But yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, that's the same way. Like when Dylan passed away, I was just like, it's like freak accident stuff, and there's nothing you can do about it. It just feels like, and you feel all this weight, and you're kind of just like, you got to just remember, like, if everybody dies, and everybody will die, and like, if you're going to die, if I'm going to die tomorrow, I don't want like anybody to be like, you know, I want everybody to just like follow their dreams that are deep down and like make those dreams like flourish or whatever, you know?
Yeah,
just
no,
to get
straight
deep,
up. No,
just to get deep real quick. Cause it's like,
do it. No,
you don't want to like, I don't want everybody to be all bummed out and be like, oh, like it's just this thing that could have left on forever. Blah, blah. Yeah, like, I don't know. Just like go on, like it's too young. Like, yeah, obviously all that is like apparent and like that all like that happens. And like, I think those people would agree that like they want to see us like do what we want to do, whether that's be super successful or like create happiness for yourself and like, yeah, follow your dreams.
And those, there's such a deep inspiration from those people that make you realize like life is short. You got to get it while you can. And like these guys lived the life to their fullest. Like I I have to do the same for the people that can't and stuff like that. I feel like that's huge. You know, it's like the positive side of the harsh reality that it is like, do you think, is that an effect it had on you where you're like, all right, I'm not leaving anything off the table because life's short? Do you think that?
Yeah, I think overall it was just like a drive, just like light a fire. Like, I don't know, you have a reason to pursue something more, like a deeper reason to pursue like the goal of snowboarding, or it's not even like to create success. It's just to like keep yourself happy and keep like your purpose going, your mental purpose going. And like, you know, that's what I've been drawn to. So, like, people have helped me create, like even Dylan like creates avenues and like lights up the room with happiness. And then you're like, you take that inspo. That's like how you got to feed into it. 'Cause yeah, mentally it can just like drain you, and it'll come up when you're never even expecting it. And you just got to always I try to keep that in the back of my mind. Yeah.
You held it together pretty well out there, huh? For what you went through. That must have been crazy, man.
Yeah, like I said, I think like nowadays I would be like, all right, I'm out. Like, I'm flying home. Yeah. Like, you know, or whatever it is. But when you're 18 and you're like really like dedicated to just like like snowboarding, like whatever I was chasing like at that time and what I wanted to do, and like almost like, it's not that I felt indebted, but it was like, oh, this is like what has to happen. Like, I'm not just going to go home. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be fine through this, you know, whatever. And I had awesome, super supportive people in Chile that like helped me out. That's and that awesome. Are like still somewhat in touch today. And I'm excited to always go back. And yeah.
Another thing that's kind of beautiful about some of those tragedies are the strength in the community so much. Like the way it brings people together and like really, and then it gives you that, like you said, that sense of purpose, that reason to get out of bed in the morning. That drive sometimes is like, is another kind of positive of those horrific tragedies. And
he still got his name on all your boards, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
throughout these years.
I pretty much just like, after that happened and like we went and saw bridges before, Snowboarder gave me like massive opportunity to like write an article. And I think like not only was that cool, but also I think that like mentally helped me a lot.
Like therapeutic almost.
Yeah, because like it's not like you're just sharing it with yourself, but you're like, oh man, I gotta like write this like well because it's going out to a lot of people. And like, so you like, it took me a while and whatever. I remember Bridges helped a lot with that. And yeah, it's like a form of release also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Pat's written a lot of those. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of good ones in this one.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's not normal too. In a lot of friend groups, you don't have so many friends pass away. You know what I mean? But because we're such a worldwide community, we've all like had so many more people. You know, like you have two on your board. That's crazy. That Ojo sticker's sick.
Yeah, dude. I wish I knew who did that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if I've even seen that one. That one's really cool.
I feel like I know. Maybe we could plug it in. Like, right here.
Yeah, we could. Right there.
The Instagram name, because I think he might be a homie that I follow, but I just like don't want to fuck up his name.
That art makes him like larger than life, the way his name fits in.
Yeah, the teeth and just like
so cool.
This Ojo smile.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, man, that is incredible. I wanted to kind of see how things progressed after that. Is that when you started linking up with the LTC crew? Is that?
Yeah, for sure. Like going back like to Jackson being close to here, we were doing USASA contests together, and that was linking up with Sage, Sam, Griffin, like Blaze, the whole crew here. Eventually that led to linking up with the Warbingtons, and yeah, we just all kind of think had like the same common bond of what we wanted to like do while we were snowboarding. Obviously, like everyone's taken their path, but somehow we had like that young crew that was like going for a bit, and like we all fed off each other. That energy was like, those were like, it's like I didn't go to college, and like that was kind of my college. And then we used to go to college parties and like fuck with people, tell them we were like astrology majors and shit. Like,
you guys would do that?
Like, frat parties,
whatever,
like shirtless backflips. It was a great era.
Yeah.
Lick the Cat University.
LTCU. Maybe you guys should start
LTCU.
You guys should start a university.
Professor Griff.
Oh, man. Yeah, when we're all older, everyone will be a teacher. Sage can be like the gym coach now.
Yeah, for sure.
Just kidding. Griff is
just kidding.
Griff is Dude, I don't even know what I would do. I'd be like the janitor.
Yeah.
Janitor. Dude, you'd be like the principal, dude.
Hell no. That's
Hale-
too much responsibility.
I can see Hale being like the alcoholic math teacher, just like coming in. Just
The alcoholic math teacher.
Everybody has their role. Mike Boggs. Actually, Mike Boggs, you kind of just said his quote, but he had a quote one time to me that said, he was always saying, we got to get out there and do it for the people that can't.
Yeah.
Not saying that he like meant it on like a super deep level. Sometimes it's just the people that are like working.
Yeah, whoever
You
can
know,
do
just
it.
whoever can't come that day. And he's like, oh, maybe their resort sucks. And just a big sigh and just like, I got to get out there and do it for the people that can't.
That's a good,
we got
good
such
thing.
we're such spoiled pieces of shit sometimes because we get to go snowboard whenever we want. But most people really appreciate it to a whole nother degree because they got to work all week, and the weekend or the night boarding is their one release where we're just like, I don't know if I'm going to go today.
Or they got to drive hours
Yeah.
to make it happen, 10 hours to get to Mammoth or something.
Yeah, dude, accessibility in snowboarding is a huge factor. It's leading to a little bit of a downfall, but you know, yeah, that shit's rough.
You can't blame people for loving it though.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, dude, the dude that's like driving to Mammoth from Cali, or that's like doing whatever they got to do, like the people that get in the Brighton like car line, maybe some of them might just be like hungover dudes that just know, you know what I mean? That just like know they're about to sit in traffic for like 3 hours, but they'll make it up there and they just want to go board and like,
Brighton car line.
Dude,
yeah,
I see people chugging IPAs at like 6 in the morning, dude. Just like,
dude.
dude, how is that
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
Thing seems very thick.
Dude, they've all started cutting through my neighborhood now, the
Oh,
Brighton car
yeah.
line, thinking
Oh,
they're
yeah.
going to get up on somebody else.
I've hit that neighborhood cut.
You have,
yeah.
It's not that tight.
Yeah, don't do
everyone
it.
creeping through
It's
my
actually
hood.
so whack. Don't do it at all. There's like huge speed bumps and shit.
True.
The LTC, circling back around, you guys all competed USASA against each other.
Yeah, a little bit. I think Sam was like every other year he was in my division, and Sage was in there and whatever.
Who's winning all the shit?
Yeah, who's winning?
doing well
That's
at
what
the
I
young
wanna know.
age USASA?
Sage was winning.
Well, that's a
of
given.
course.
That's a given.
Sam was like mad good. Obviously, like full ATV still back then.
All you guys are so good. It must have been
Did you beat
nuts.
I don't even. There's definitely contests we fluctuate, but I'd say overall, like I didn't have the park skills. Like
What was
I
your-
kind of had them. I had certain things, but overall, I was like I had a limit to like, yo, I'm not just gonna like chuck.
You're
to,
like, I'm out.
Get hurt on this. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Kind of. I don't know. I didn't practice enough like riding Park City or anything like that because I was just riding Jackson.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but
Jackson isn't really known for his park, eh?
This guy's not known for his rail skills either.
yeah. I mean, I tried a little bit. I went on a trip to Boston once, but
You did.
yeah. But Jackson, yeah, we had a cool park. It was just like a funky park. It's always just a little weird, a little different. Maybe sometimes there's some big jumps one year, maybe not.
Yeah.
Whatever. And we had a fun mini pipe, and I think naturally we just rode other stuff.
Mini pipe. See, that's where it's at.
Rode the
man.
rest of the
And
mountain.
you
That's
rode
the future.
the other mountain too that's right in town in Jackson, right? Isn't that? Did you ride that one growing
The one
up? or
Willie
just
was
Yeah,
talking
that
about.
was Snow King.
Snow King.
Yeah, a little bit. Like definitely for a few years while I was young there, I had some like season passes. Was going after school night riding. But yeah, it was like
Grand
the
Targhee,
village is
little bit.
Jackson. Yeah, went to Targhee a bit. My parents were hyped on Targhee. Was like a good like we're skipping school, we're going to Targhee day trip.
Tarquin Robbins took me out there once in my youth.
No way.
And I was just blown away.
That's
Just
sick.
put me in his Lincoln gangster car and was like, we're going to Jackson. And then we went into Targhee and life changing.
That's some legendary shit.
Yeah.
man.
I had no money. He just stuffed me in the back of his whip. He liked that I could like get on the mic and do dance hall shit, reggae. So he was just always hyped on me because he was a DJ. So he was like, you're coming. I'm DJing at this bar. Let's go shred.
That
And then
is
I got
incredible.
to snowboard with him too.
And he was
That's
probably
sick.
God at that time too.
Oh, he was. Yeah, I was like, I couldn't even believe I was chilling with him at first when I met him. Just like, damn, dude.
That's insane.
But it's always cool, you know. You meet these older, like you're saying with Gooch, you know.
Yeah,
He was a little bit. He's not that much older, maybe a little bit older. They kind of take you under the wing and show you or an A Rob too, you know, just show you the world out there, what's out there.
yeah. I feel like I'm pretty fortunate to meet a lot of those type
Yeah.
of people. Even like if it's not a full like take under the wing scenario, just being around people that have that infectious energy. That's like. I feel like there's a time in your life where you're like, oh, like snowboarding's like I'm trying to be snowboarding. Snowboarding is cool. You're trying to be cool or something like that. And you like maybe you think like the premieres are like this is like, oh, it's just like some snow, like head shit or whatever. Like you get over it, you get over the scene. Salt Lake's too much of a scene, whatever. Yeah. But like, I think I've gotten to the point where I'm like, yeah, it's like tiring at times, but the community and the people involved, and like, especially now with like not everybody seeing each other for a while, like if everybody got together again right now,
it'd be insane.
It would pop off hard. And there's a reason for that, because like everybody knows each other, and like, dude, not that many people have like that bond where it's like, yo, I got this dude over here that like helped me with like stuff growing up, and then I got this like friend that's in this city if I ever want to go there. And like, yeah, just kind of like, it's funny when you're like that shit means a lot more than like being in a cool sport or whatever.
Yeah, it kind of came around full circle, huh? I guess in your lifetime where you're over it for a little bit and then you just appreciate it more than ever.
Yeah, totally. That just happens.
That's tight.
Growing up.
I kind of think it might be time for a little. What do you think it's time for, bud?
NT. I don't know the acronym.
Come on, finish
What's
it off.
What's the acronym? VP.
That is correct. We're gonna do a little
Do I get a
name
prize pack?
that video part. Here we
I
go.
should get a prize pack.
Yeah, we'll get you. We got some new merch coming in next week.
Oh.
Name that video part presented by the Do Tour. We got to give them a major shout out. Those guys have a killer event.
Yeah, I actually had a Mountain Dew the other day. Remember I was telling you that?
Yes, you did.
I was saying on air once that I like haven't had a Mountain Dew in like 20 years maybe, and I was at a spot, that's all they had, and I was at one of those $1 taco spots.
Oh, sick.
And they had
authentic tacos.
Cooler filled with Mountain Dew, and I was just like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah.
$1 taco and a Mountain Dew, let's do it.
He was raving about the tacos too.
Damn.
Well, yeah, let's get into what's your confidence 1 through 10?
Yeah, you
Or
were
0
0 the
through 10.
game or no?
I know the game, but I was telling Chris earlier, I haven't like revisited recently. Like a lot of like things that I should maybe watch. This year we were watching a lot of really old movies.
That's sick.
TB stuff to like recognize Brighton. But yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
to kind of look at old spots.
Here we go.
Yeah,
All right, let's see how the kid does. Really quiet.
I know it. I know it's a robot food movie.
Okay, you're close. I can get you a little hint if you need it.
Give me this like.
All right, it's
Can you play it again?
Yeah, we'll play it again.
It's Bust a Move, classic track.
Yeah, isn't this Scotty Arnold's part?
Okay. I was gonna say you can hear jib noises.
Scotty Arnold and Lame, right?
Shouts to SCO.
That's a full
He's
pull
the
right
best.
there.
Oh, you know what you get?
It's Lame, right? It's not after.
That's Lame, yeah.
Yeah, he got
That's a full pull.
the production company,
Oh,
the
shit.
rider.
This guy, he got himself a bomb hole mug. What else we have in here too, which are available for sale?
If
is
you head
a
down to Florida, that'll
Stony
that's
Buds
sick.
air freshener.
ding ding ding.
That's what's
Yep.
up. I saw
And,
him flicking that.
Some other merch.
That's my pro
Damn,
model air
thank you
freshener.
guys. Hyped.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep this in.
Shouts to Igloo for hooking us up with some of these beautiful coolers. And shout out to Scotty Arnold, man. That's one of my favorite video parts of all time. If you haven't seen it, it'll be a link in the show notes. Stony Buds. There's a whole movie in there. So.
I gotta say, rest in peace to Dutchy, dog.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
Yeah, Scotty, we feel you,
R.I.P.
dog.
Dutchy,
Yeah,
dude.
we're with you, homie.
One of the best dogs to ever do it. We went on a Solomon tour with Dutchy when he
Oh,
first
really?
got her back in the day in an RV. Yeah, it's been she had a great life. You gave her a great life,
Yeah,
Scotty.
you did.
For real.
Okay, well, let's do song number 2 of Name That Video part. This is for the listener viewers. Comment on the photo of Blake's face on Instagram if you know the answer. And you're going to get what, Buzz?
Prize pack.
You're going to get yourself a prize pack. Here we go.
Gotta know that one.
Yeah, see, this guy
You
is
got
a student
that
of
one.
the game.
Yeah, you got that quick then.
Actually, I gotta give some love to Scotty real quick because I have a vivid memory of watching that movie to the point where I was like, you know, when you watch a movie, then you like the song, like 5-6 watches in, you're like, I fuck with that song.
Yeah.
I was like, I came home on the bus singing that song, and I was like, I gotta watch that part. And it was like maybe one of the first times that ever happened. Where I was like, I gotta go home and like watch that video because like that gets me hyped.
That's
I went
awesome.
home and I skipped to Scotty's part. That's a big So
moment.
sick.
Hell yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
So good. God. All right. Well, thank you guys for playing Name That Video part. Presented by the Do Tour. Yeah, that's kind of something I don't know if kids are going to have the same.
You're right, huh?
Hold on. Cut. I just realized your light's not on, Buds.
Oh, no.
Oh, fuck.
Is the show ruined?
No, it'll be fine.
It seems, or I guess I'll just be a little dark. It's kind of bright now, dude. I wasn't used to that.
For the listeners, we had a little technical difficulties. Sony Buds' light was not turned on by the stage crew, a.k.a. myself.
It's a whole different world now, dude. It's
getting roasted like a Kenny Rogers chicken over there.
Kenny Rogers chicken.
So what I was kind of saying, though, earlier is that there's like a feeling associated, not to be the nostalgic old guy, but fuck it, let's go there. But fuck it. Like, I remember that feeling associated with getting lame and, like, putting the DVD in and the menu and that sheer excitement of the video parts. That's like, it's like, does that happen still with YouTube and stuff?
Dude, I remember having to rewind VCR.
Dude, I remember, well, you probably remember the first, like, electricity, right? And, like, when that was invented and stuff.
I remember, what was before VCR, dude? I don't know. What was?
Super 8 film?
Super 8 film. Yeah,
You'd have to go to a theater.
Reel it, dude. It was insane.
Doing a slideshow.
Slideshow.
With slides.
With actually, we used to have slideshows with the boys. Like, Blotto used to always load up. Yeah, back in the day with film.
Did it do the
kind of
like
sick noise, actually.
Yeah. My dad used to do that, actually, too. Slideshow.
Put it on the wall, and
sick.
everyone hangs. And it's sick when it's all snowboard photos. Blotto probably still does it, dude. He's nostalgic like that.
That's dope.
So at what point did you start linking up with the Vans boys? Because that seemed like a good little, after the snowboarder movie and all that.
Yeah. I think the Vans, so I wanted to, like, I definitely was, like, hyped on Vans and what they were doing. They had put out, like, the Sam, Rav, Dan, welcome to the team edit. And I knew they were, like, taking initiative in snowboarding and, like, gonna, support the culture, whatever. And they had, like, some of the best dudes on. And so I was kind of, like, seeking it out. And I had heard of, like, maybe some mentions, like, from Kuzik and other people, like, we want to get you on. They want to get you on, maybe, whatever. So, yeah, I was in California and, like, had kind of started hanging out with Kevin Casillo a little bit. And he was, like, the one that was redoing the program there. And he was friends with Kyle Martin. And they were living together at the time. And basically, like, I had been in touch with Kevin a bunch and, like, a little bit, like, on email, I guess, and it kind of seemed like it was going to go down, but he kind of just, like, it went down in California one night. He was like, we were partying at his house, and he was like, just so you know, like, you're going to get on, like, this is all going down. And he was like, and I was wearing Converse, and he was like, I'm gonna get, you want to wear some shoes? And I was like, what? And we were, like, about to go out, like, partying in California, like, in Encinitas, like, some straight snowboard, like, summer shit.
Were you at his house or in the office?
I was at his house.
You were at his house.
Yeah, I was, like, hanging out with him and Kyle at their house all the time.
They're all cramming you into the wrong size so you could wear them out.
Off topic, but Kyle made a lot of shit happen for me too, and just overall great friend.
Kyle Martin will air horn.
Big time. And yeah, he went in his closet, gave me a personal pair of his Van shoes, and we went out that night.
Scuffed or they already worn, or what are you talking?
Brand new.
Oh, brand spanking.
Yeah, he's got them on ice.
He's just like, let's get you off these Converse.
He's got pairs on ice.
I would imagine the whole crew has pairs on ice.
Oh yeah.
I never had like a sponsorship surprise or whatever that always is going down these days, or pro or whatever, all that stuff. So that was like the one thing that happened when I was like, kind of brings back memories going, whatever, like that was dope that happened that one night, and it just kind of like solidified. It's cool. But yeah, the Vans crew is like evolved and is just basically a huge close group of friends and mentors from like Daryl and like everybody like that's on the team, Gooch, and like then we have Sam on like that's like just a little bit younger than me, so we're coming up like filming for like these big projects together, but also like learning how to film and learning how to juggle life in the same like sense. So we're like going through it together, and then we're looking up to like Kuzik and like, and you got Rav on the other spectrum. It's like all these guys are just like so insane, and we've all became so close, and then we became even closer after Dylan passed. And yeah, it just really feels like a family, like even though everybody's claiming like their teams are families, like definitely feels that way.
Seems that way from the
Yeah,
outside.
it looks that way.
Well, so let's talk about the Proddy boxes, like that, not B Proddy, but actual amount of product. Like, are we talking?
Where did the Proddy come from?
Oh yeah, where did the nickname Proddy come from on a side
Does he
note?
look good in the Proddy, or because
No, it's like actually before that trip I was talking about, sectioning back to the high school story, the trip up in Canada. That was at Baldface, and they sent me this like fat box, and I was staying.
you were that kid that got
Dude,
the
I was
huge box
staying-
on a trip?
I was staying at Max and Gus Worthington's house at the Worthington farm. Shout out!
We'll
the
get him an air
Worthington
horn.
farm.
Yeah, let's get- they need a goddamn air horn.
Rebecca and Martin Worthington are saints to the culture. They've fed all of us and hooked us up forever. And I was staying there, and they were like, "We need to send you all this outerwear for this shoot." And I was like, "Well, yeah, cool." They sent it, and like, this is where I'm at. And I thought it was just gonna be like an outfit for the shoot. It was like 4 pairs of pants, like 5 jackets, lime green, bright red, like all over the map.
The whole
then, like,
line.
and then like base layers and like gloves, like like anything you want. And it shows up, and like I'm like hyped, but I'm also like, I'm not wearing all this, but like kind of funny. Like it's so everybody was like, damn, like what up, B product? And it was just like, it just turned into like
I did not know that.
That's
Dude,
really cool that it stuck too.
Someone coined it hard, like Spenny, Max, Gus,
yeah,
like
they just wrote it and it
Blaze,
stuck.
Sage. It's like one of those dudes, Griff. Someone coined that shit hard, and it stuck hard.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. And then that involved, now it's like straight evolved to like Dennis Rodman,
Dennis
What's the
Rodman.
reference?
because it went from like B product to Proddy to Prod to
Rod.
Rod to Dennis Rodman.
Incredible
They're calling
evolution.
you
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman.
That is a great evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty
the
funny.
evolution of a nickname right
That's
there
like-
is incredible.
That's Trevor Brady and Jeff Richards. They probably coined like half of those ones, just like over the time. They're a little older. They're always like,
Damn, where does it
same
go
shit.
from Dennis Rodman?
Yeah. Dude, I had no
It's
idea
done,
that B
dude.
Proddy was related to a fat product box you got.
I was wondering this
let's
last
stay,
night.
Let's stay on this topic because, like, what are we talking for product? Is this kid getting fat boxes? Like, how many pairs of shoes? How many pairs of boots?
I mean, I'm lucky because like I'm skating a lot, so I'm like pretty much saying like, yo, I need these shoes.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
need
Like, yeah, but that's like my excuse in my own mind. Like I'm going through them this fast, but no, dude, everybody on the team is like seeking out the shoes they want, hitting them up for boxes. What are those? It's like that whole scenario. No, they hook it up. They
And you
down.
now to jump ahead, you have a boot with them too, out right?
Yeah, I had a boot. It goes like every once in a while, certain people get boots or some people have steady boots. And I had a boot in, what year was that? 2018, 2019 winter? No, that would have been 2018 winter, I think. I had a boot in a North Face collection. It was like a Vans North Face collab collection. And yeah, it was like a Vans North Face Verse boot, which is the stiffer boot in the line, and I like to ride like really stiff boots. And yeah, just they
Didn't
hooked
your
it up.
first boot have that zip up skirt?
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
It has the little
powder
zip
protector.
Yeah, the zip gator, which like at first I thought that was maybe like a little weird, like
I think it's
fashion
dope.
wise, but it's so dope. It keeps so much snow out, and like snowmobiling and like hiking, all that. That's like a necessity. I love those boots. And I will have another pro model down the line coming out at some point.
When there's a North Face Vans Proddy collab, you get royalty on something like that?
Yeah, I was getting some royalties.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, they're super good.
Should we talk about the bisque? Is that all too soon?
It might be
Just
too
jump
soon because
into
he
the
rides for the brand still, but I don't know. I mean, I'd love to hear about
current
the
bisque is sometimes people get a little uncomfortable with their
Current bisque is tough.
Past bisque is usually more of a better. What's the most you ever won a contest
Yeah, like
for a bunch of money?
how much were you making an hour at the Thai food restaurant?
That was some strong bisque. dude.
$7.50 an hour? I mean,
Who owns that place? Does it Willie own it?
No, so
Willie owns the
actually,
Thai food spot?
no, actually, Gooch's forget me, it might be his brother-in-law. Gooch's wife's brother.
Okay.
Is that how you say that? Brother-in-law.
Your brother-in-law.
Yeah. He owns it.
Okay, so
His name's Sam.
Sam. Okay, let's not dodge the bisque question now. How much bisque we pulling?
Oh, from Teton Thai.
Yeah.
I don't know, like not much. Like I was pulling sometimes, like rolling out of there like over.
Well, you were saying under the table.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, but like just like over 100 in cash, like, or maybe you're working a lunch and dinner, you're rolling out of there a couple hundred in cash, just like because you just made tips, and like this place is like
in a resort town that's rich.
A resort town, world renowned, and like 1 minute you're like a host, and they actually changed locations and they tightened it all up. They're a little more fancy now. This was like peak summer Jackson, and yeah, there was like, this is how much we made tonight, and this is your little cut, and rolled out of there with cash, like, I don't know, a couple hundred. But I saved like a couple grand to go on that trip to Chile and to do other snowboard stuff. And
it sounds like it's pretty good money, actually.
Yeah.
Well, we're jumping around right now, but I kind of want to get into another guest question from Sam Taxwood. Circling back, you guys were talking about being kids coming up together. Till recently, Taxwood actually didn't even know how to send a letter.
He should come over to my house, because I sent like 40 Patreon letters the other day.
We're sending a lot of letters.
We could put him to work.
He could
man.
be an
He
expert
learn.
at sending letters.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into Sam Taxwood's guest question for Blake, and this is in regards to filming for Landline. Here we go.
How's it going? This is Sam Taxwood, and I want to give a big shout out to the Bomb Hole and the Bomb Hole listeners. Today, I just want to get a quick rundown from Blake on what led up to his double backflip that he filmed for his Landline part in Japan. That day, we kind of had a nice time in the backcountry together, and I was just curious what kind of antics led up to that trick. Cool. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
What do you think was going on in the background there? Highway
He's at the
noises?
skate park today.
Skate park.
He's at Provo Skate Park.
I thought I heard some skating.
Yep.
All right.
Damn.
To the question.
Yeah, so I know what he's talking about in Japan. It's we were all chilling, like Blatt was like kind of bringing on this like insane energy as he always does. Blatt was like full on like
making pancakes, and
he wasn't making pancakes yet, but like we were just on a vibe of like we were party boarding. I don't know, we might have on this trip we had a street crew and a backcountry crew, and Cole and Ojo were there, and they had like never ridden powder, and we all met up at some point, and we were all riding a resort. Insane day. Then that kind of, on that trip, that kind of like energy just keeps like, kind of the momentum keeps going. One morning we woke up, went to the gas station, just bought like 2 huge bottles of sake. Like Blatt bought one, I bought one, like the ones that are like, whatever, like couple feet
oversized.
Yeah, big dogs,
or whatever, like 1.5 feet, whatever. I don't know how big they are, but they're pretty fucking big. And we took them out and just like to the zone, and we just started drinking them like at like super early, and we were just building. We knew we had this fat jump. We had like hit all this other stuff around the zone, and like everybody like maybe gotten a couple clips, maybe, and we were just like, yeah, like let's like have fun today. It was sunny, and we just like. I just drank like a shit ton of sake. And I don't know if that many other, I think Dan was having some, which is dope. Maybe Sam, we were having some, but yeah, then we just hit the jump, like did whatever, drunk. That's pretty much all it was.
That's kind of out of character,
it was like,
for you though, right?
Kinda. I wouldn't say that I'm like going that like crazy all the time, but I think it's really fun when you're filming to not be too serious. And like, I think you can still get a lot of stuff done and stay on like a good program and have like a fun vibe. And I'm down for that. And I feel like that day we were just on it with like, that was like super memorable day. Like we were all just, everybody got tricks. We're hitting this like pretty big jump for Japan. It was like sunny, and the snow was insane. I think the first time Kuzik hit it,
I heard about this.
Yeah, dude. Now it's bringing my memory back. Kuzik, like, he had to go first, and he was like, how high should I start from? I'm like, dude, go fucking fast. Like, just do it. But I'm like, kind of like, that's what I think. I'm always like, okay, I got to go faster than I think I should go. And so I was like, kind of like, yeah, dude, go fucking faster than you think. Like, go fast.
And you're drinking.
Yeah, and I'm drinking.
You're kind of the authority on the jumping and the powder, too, on the situation.
Yeah, which is like not the best, because I'm like maybe lighter
chassis. He has to start
pretty
higher.
light chassis.
I'm starting high up. Like, I don't know what I'm down to go faster, but like I don't want to be that like coming up short. So like he came in going hot and did like, I think did he do like a back 9 into like a bush first try, like way
back 7.
Yeah, but like over rotate to back heel catch. I heard the branches like from the takeoff, and it's all the way in the landing. Like Kuzik, he's like, what the fuck? You told me to like go slow. I was like, dude, I'm sorry. Like,
my bad.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I thought so, and whatever.
Talking to Danimals this morning, he said that you overshot it He overshot it by 90 feet. And
Yeah.
One of those scenarios.
Kuzik?
yeah, that was,
He overshot it pretty big. But it was so soft. And it's like the landings like was almost endless.
Yeah.
Except for like there's kind of a bush and a hole right where he went.
yeah, it was the way Dan described it. He was like, basically Kuzik had picked his spot. Like, okay, this is good to go. And you were like, no, dude, you got to go like at
10
least
feet
10
up.
feet higher.
I remember that. I do actually. Dude, I don't know why.
That'll happen.
Maybe I was
Saki.
just, yeah.
He's feeling, he got a little liquid
I can
courage.
just see you and Blad all socked up, just
Dude.
loving it.
That brings some funny
Yeah.
energy. It's so good. Yeah,
Especially
that was
with a
great.
little sake in the mix. I can just imagine it.
It was a long trip too. You need like just that breakup in your trip, just like something different, whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of powder, I got a Patreon question from Yummy Snacks is his name.
That's his name?
That's what he goes by.
Okay, yummy
yeah.
snacks.
Dope
name.
And this is something I've actually wanted to ask you as well. I think a lot of people want to know. The no beanie look.
Oh yeah.
In the powder. Is this something that, like, when you're riding around in a, let's say, a freezing day, are you actually wearing the beanie and then you take it off to hit the jump, or are you just out there all day with no beanie?
Oh, I'm definitely like it's a fluctuating heat system, and also like there's a couple. I mean, I think back in the day, I'm down for like the style, you know,
The hair was
rolling
looking
around with the
good,
hair
dude.
like younger, and then I'm like thinking like this is dope because you're building the jump, you get hot, you're getting like this like kind of or your feature whatever, you kind of get this like vibe like okay, I'm about to hit this thing, like you're all warm, you've been hiking, you do like a run in, you do another run in to get comfortable, or you're like slipping and you're like I'm getting hot. And I think a lot of snowboarders or people can agree, like when you got goggles on, it's not like as good as when you're just looking out of your eyes, you know, like no matter what, you have this frame that like sticks out a little bit. And then when you have a beanie on, it's like almost more restricting kind of. So I was like, sometimes like, it's just literally, I'm taking it off because it's like, you have like the motivation to land, your head is like cooled down. Like you're not like, I'll get like sweat in my goggle, like cloth lenses all over the place. Like I got pretty thick hair. So it's like, when the beanie's ragdolled, the beanie's done, the backpack is like way over there. Second hit, like it might be a no beanie scenario. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever. Like first hit, you're like, fuck it, I'm going no beanie. And like, if I ragdoll, it's going to be a brutal one. But like, cause it'll be like so much pow. But if I don't.
The
Does the
shot
trick
stood
selection?
out, though.
Does the
You know what I mean?
yeah,
The shot stood out. I was
there's
like, I
multiple
remember seeing
over the
them.
years, but
yeah,
yeah.
just being like, wow. Yeah, all of them. It's just like,
Does the
Thick
trick
hair.
Yeah, let's talk about the
yeah,
hair. So
great name.
what
That's
kind
where
of
I thought Proddy came from.
Oh,
The-
like
the
hair product. Okay. Do you want to plug any hair Proddy companies or is there any specific shamps or anything like
There
that?
used to be a hair product company that sponsored
Paul Mitchell.
Yes,
The Paul Mitchell progression
Yeah.
session.
Yeah, progression session in
Yeah.
Japan and everywhere.
No, I got nothing.
You got a
they
good
should
mane
holler
of hair,
at.
though.
They should holler back though.
We got to get Paul Mitchell in the seat.
Dude,
Yeah.
that'd be probably a good paying deal right
I
there.
will champ up for that big time.
Champ up.
Yeah,
Little champ in the beard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll throw some champ in the beard, dude.
fresh poof.
Fresh poof.
You're just like first shot on their gram is just you. It's just like
Fully manicured, fresh, blow dried beard. I'm down, dude.
look like one of those little dogs.
After the haircut.
Like a poodle. A
Little
labradoodle.
poodle scenario.
Fresh comb. Fresh
The
champ.
no beanie scenario was dope, though. I back it.
Yeah,
kind of
it
made you
happens
stand out. I
sometimes.
think
Yeah,
it looked extra stylish.
a
I thought.
couple of the greats did it. You know,
True.
Blauvelt
There are
did
those
it when
moments.
he was young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Blauvelt. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
So there might have been-
I-Man did it hard.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Like
Those
a
guys
lot
get
of, a lot
some
of
air
the-
horns.
Oh yeah, I-Man.
so there was some inspiration.
Yeah, there was inspiration. I think a couple, maybe Larry did it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I was down.
What's your thoughts? A lot of the Euros, they run the, you'll see them running sunglasses and then the goggles above the sunglasses. That's a heavy Euro look.
Oh yeah, that's like should be seen as so whack. But I think like if we all went to Europe, we should just do that.
Yeah,
you
just
know,
run that
because
style.
like that's what's kind of sick about like what's like whack in snowboarding is it was so whack like and so long ago like it might as well just come around to being not as whack now. You know,
Yeah.
certain things.
Well, back to this thick hair situation.
Dude, come on.
What do you think the thick?
Dude, you should be
like, when
stoked
say-
you got thick
Dude,
hair.
I hope it lasts.
Yeah, dude, that's a like good thing. There's a lot of pro snowboarders that never take the beanie off, and there's a reason why.
Dude, that's fine.
Yeah,
Dude,
which
some
is
people
fine.
look sick, like
I agree.
bald or
If you're
whatever.
going bald, you just got to own it.
yeah. You got to cut.
got
You
a
got
mane
to
of hair. So
you got to quit that shit before it quits you. And if that happens to me, I'm gonna hopefully.
I can tell you right now, I don't think it's going to happen to you.
Cool.
You can already tell, I think.
I mean, whatever. It's all good. I'm down. There's some legendary bald homies.
Yeah, straight up.
Kojak.
Sage is he's running a bald unit these days.
Yeah, and he's like
and he's
ripping harder
probably
than ever.
Yeah,
owning it.
exactly.
Yeah.
He is killing it, huh?
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, Sage is killing it.
Just ran a marathon. Absolute
Yeah,
maniac.
not only like in the snowboard world, just like
Life.
constantly stepping up and progressing on his own insane achievements, but just in life.
Yeah.
And like when you see him, and yeah, he's one of those people that's like, damn, what's this dude doing? Like,
And he's
what's he
always
on?
probably
He's on
going to
some
be
shit.
doing that. huh?
I wanted to get into that.
Yeah.
You guys are always all on some shit, especially the whole LTC crew. Everybody's always on some bullshit. It's like whether it's like the first run cab 9 for no reason,
Oh,
or
man.
like wife beater season where they're all wearing tank tops, or like
Wife beater
whatever
season.
whatever the bullshit these guys got going on.
What season is wife beater season?
I
Just
don't
summer?
know. There's always something going on.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know. You gotta stay hyped, I guess. But
Stay hyped.
those dudes are like, they're like Sage and Hale are on some shit with the first run cab 9 and whatever. Like they're like pushing each other. I don't know. I don't know what like we've been on more so recently. Definitely just like certain sayings or fucking like launching off cliffs to flat or whatever. But that's just what's always happening. Like when everybody's together ripping.
COVID's probably keeping you guys down, apart from each other, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you know, honestly, people have grown a little and separated on. I think like we all still hang for sure, especially like we're all in town right now and I've been seeing everybody a bunch. But yeah, like it's not the same with this no spring vibe. Kind of means like we almost skipped that.
That's
vibe
true.
there.
That was
Yeah.
not a good look, huh?
Yeah.
Missing spring.
We had a couple good powder days this winter, and I like your approach. It seems like you just snowboard a lot, right? Is that what is your approach to filming and riding, and like you're always on your board? It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I had a couple years where I felt like some pressure, like first snowboarder movie, and like maybe even second snowboarder movie. I was like forward in SFD. I was like feeling the pressure. I was like maybe under like the vibe of like, we got to get this shit done. These boxes need to get checked. These shots need to get gotten, like whatever. And I didn't really know the program. So you're like going through the trials and tribulations of that stuff, and it's mentally tasking. And then after those years, I grew and I just realized like, yo, like you guys have talked about it before, but like it ain't about like what you did or whatever. It's not about like if you fuck up on a trick or don't get like your end or whatever, like just being concerned with that stuff is just stupid to me. Like you got to be in it to just go out there and have fun. And like, yeah, like I want to get a shot and I want to like progress on like myself and like do like stuff that I'm proud of. But I also want to look back and like appreciate my days and appreciate my hard work and not look back on it and be like, oh, that was so like stressful like that year. Like, damn, I want to be like, that trip was insane. We got this, we had this much fun. And you just appreciate the experience. That's all, you're like appreciating the dinners rather than like
True.
being on the side. Like I love the dinners. Like, you guys love the fucking rolling around in the morning with the music. Like everybody loves that shit. Like that's part of like what's the vibe on snowboard trips that makes it. Like we don't, a lot of people don't get to experience that like type of camaraderie. So yeah.
I had an epiphany. I realized with trips, I'm actually mainly there for the banter. I've realized.
Yeah, true. The
banter is a huge part of the whole
You get
deal.
the right crew together, and
Like
it's
me and
unreal
Bud's
banter.
in the back seat, or
Yeah.
you
Now
know?
you guys got a banter show, so you're good.
Yeah, we get a full dose of banter.
Well, it came from it spawned from
Yeah.
the banter in the back of the van.
Yeah.
It's
That's awesome that it's like natural. Like you want to do it. Like, yeah. Like, I don't know.
Well, half the
Banter.
shit you're waiting
Banter
around.
boys.
There's downtime. You're driving to a new location.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many moments in between snowboarding that it's all.
If there's no good banter, I couldn't even imagine you just be sitting in the car, quiet and sad.
People do that too.
Yeah,
Like,
and people
that.
do
That's
that.
like
If
tricks.
they get too emo and
For
down on their
sure.
tricks.
And like sometimes like everyone will be in that mood, and sometimes you got to be in that mood. But I've been on like a lot of dope trips that I look back on where I'm like, God damn, like thank God we had like this trip to like John Stark and like Ojo and Max and Spenny and everybody in New Zealand. Like we like did that trip, and then everybody wanted to get shots, but I look back on that as like, I can't believe we did that trip like on our own for like snowboarding with like our like kind of assets that we could like come up with. And like that stuff means so much to me now, like just being a little bit older rather than like, and then I look back at like some of the video part stuff and I'm like, ooh, like I was grinding, but maybe you got to learn that lesson, like grinding, like mentally,
True.
like, you know, whatever.
You mentioned the pressure when you were young in those first movies. Was that more from yourself or from the sponsors or everything?
I think it was just, yeah. I mean, ultimately, I'm putting that on myself.
On yourself.
I could have just said, like, you know, if I could have a little bit more resiliency to, like, filmers or sponsors or whatever, like, that's fine. But I think it was just that moment of being like, yo, I'm in this video with, like, all these really good up-and-coming kids. And
Yeah, the crew was insane. Back then when you guys all were released.
Mm-hmm. And
released on the scene. Bridges hand-picked crew.
Dude, it kind of was crazy. I feel like we were.
All of you have just gone on to.
Mm-hmm.
Crush.
Yeah, when you're just like have that opportunity, as much as we were just like, oh, like this is whatever. Like look back on it now, that opportunity doesn't fly around that much. Just like, you know, the sports and the cheddar bisque doesn't fly around that much. So like, you know, that's why I felt the pressure, because like I don't want to just have like a whatever part in this video with all these up and coming kids. And like, if I'm going to have the like, you know, opportunity to film powder, like powder isn't always there. Snow in the streets isn't always there. Like you got to like be on it. So like, it's just kind of what happened. Like I didn't want to like not come through, I think was that my big, and I didn't want to have like life bother that. Like I wasn't going to like not film a good video part because of like a girlfriend or because of like something that I should get done in life. It was like, I'm only going to like do this and be available. So ultimately, like you can't do that forever, but when you're young, you can do that.
Yeah, at that age, it's like, let's just do this.
Those formative years too. It's like, you know, going back to, you know, like look, you put in those hard years of grinding and like SFD and the snowboarder movies, and then Landline, you're consistently putting out video parts, great video parts, and then like slowly the bisque stacks up. You know, it's not like overnight, you know. And I think and then I don't know if there's as much bisque around as there was, you know, but it does. I do find like I find personally, the only way I can speak for myself, when I see somebody that's, you know, maybe doing better than me financially or whatever on a snowboard, I'm always just like, oh, that guy, he works harder than me. Like he's doing more than I am. He's working harder than I am. And like you kind of can see there's almost a direct correlation between how hard people work, the amount of effort, the amount of sacrifices you're talking about. Like I'm not going to like let some girlfriend mess up my winter, you know, also being cool.
I definitely agree. Like I know you guys are talking and I hear like the young kid side, like I hear like Reed's side.
Yep.
I love like Reed's episode. I was in that spot, maybe like not the exact same spot he's in, but I remember being in the spot where I was with Brian and Austin at Mount Hood or something, and those dudes also did a great job at like keeping me humble and bringing me into like certain aspects of snowboarding. And Brian was like, I was like, damn, like that dude's getting paid, you think? And like he's like, yeah, dude. And like, you know, I it's maybe like we're seeing the, like the tail end of the height of like some like good like contracts or whatever. People are doing well. And I'm not making much anything yet. And I'm like, well, these guys are getting paid. Like, are these guys getting paid? And I'm like, and Brian's like, yeah, dude, you got to do something first. Like, what have you done? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, I've like been in this video or something. And like, whatever. It's just like, that doesn't matter. And then you're just like that doesn't really matter to brands like yet. Like you have to like earn what you're, you know. And so like for snowboarder or whatever, like I had some support, but like a lot of like real support came after that like first snowboarder part. And I think that's like, and a lot of like some of, you know, like it takes opportunities to be able to film for that stuff, but it also like you have to like, yeah, like you get paid off your merits. And unfortunately the snowboard industry is like very not fair, and the bisque is spread around all unevenly and all over the place, and it's like fucked up unfair for sure. And like there's not people in all the right spots to like control it or make it like go how everybody would want it, and everyone's got different opinions. So it's like it's just like that's the industry.
A lot of people got opinions about the bisque.
The bisque is a huge topic to everybody, but you got to be doing it for the right reason other than the bisque. But you also, the brands need to support the people that are doing it for the right reason. So it's that scale of that.
That was something we were speaking on. It's kind of, I asked you question earlier before we were officially rolling, and I was kind of asking like, what's your least favorite trend in snowboarding? And you kind of, not to put words in your mouth, said people doing it for the wrong reasons and stuff. I thought that was a pretty good answer.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to like kind of come up when it was not a ton of like self-promotion, like instant gratification, instant validation, instant kind of like ranking yourself against other people type of vibe, like with sponsors or whatever. I was like a little bit, I think, on the generation that had like the meaningful videos, and I fell in love with snowboarding because I came from like that family and was just like growing up in Jackson and going to the resort. So like I knew that I wanted to be a snowboarder or whatever, and like I was down for that. And like it's awesome to be able to make a living off that. But I think a lot of kids nowadays, like they kind of just, I don't even know if it's kids nowadays or what it is, but there's people that are out there for the wrong reasons, whether it's like becoming like not just a snowboarder, but like influencer snowboarders on Instagram. And like, it's not that any of this stuff is bad. It's just evolved. And it's a little bit soul sucking when you see someone out there that's doing it for the wrong reason, doing it to like get fame, get sponsors, or just like flex that or like whatever, rather than like when you see like, you're just like, why, what is this culture? What is this thing? Like this used to be something I watched like before bed every night. Now it's like this like confusing internet media, like oversaturated world where like there's just so much involved in it, and like everything will change, everything will evolve. You can't control it. And I'm down, like adapt or die, but like it's just different.
That's the truth, man. Adapt.
It's just like it's just fucking like different now. And I'm not even like, I don't know, maybe I'm older, like a little bit older, but I'm in the beginning of watching stuff change. And so you guys look back
I feel
at
like
it
you're
way
just pretty wise.
You guys look deeper than me, and I'm sure you're just like, yeah, let's just like roll with what's happening. Like, oh, this is dope now. Like, I guess that's dope. Or like,
you're
you see people with like
dinosaurs over
yeah,
here. You're looking at a couple bags of bones.
Respect. That's good.
But the thing is that I think's cool on this subject is that like, you know, certain people, I would say I come from like more of a school of Scott Stevens, where he's like, he finds the good in everything. He's very good at like, oh, that video part, that guy's trick is really cool because of this. And I'm like, oh, it is? Okay, I guess that is cool. But like, and I do think there's also like almost more of like I don't want to call it a skate snobby, kind of like, I would say like a selective mentality about like, that shit's kind of whack. And I feel like, you know, like let's just call it selective for lack of a better word. And I think that, you know, maybe you have brands like Public or like even the Vans guys. It's kind of like there's got to be a certain flavor, a certain thing about somebody, and it's selective. And I think that that's a cool.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like it says right there on your little thing, the key to success is like trying to please everybody, and like you're not gonna love everybody. You're not gonna love every trend and style in snowboarding. And am I down to support the culture, and if people are having fun and doing awesome shit snowboarding, I'm down. But like when I'm watching snowboarding and when I'm going to snowboarding for inspiration, I'm watching like 10% of what's going down these days. And like that might just be me, you know, or I'm watching some old shit, or maybe I'm just going through some stuff. But like, as I said, like I'm down to, like, I love the culture now, but like I just am a little confused at like there's, you know, the video parts and everything is like it's great, it's flourishing in this new direction, but there's the standard is kind of just like in a weird spot, you know what I mean? And the like which is fine, but back in the day, you're like, yo, you film like 2 video parts with Mac Dog, you're like a god. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's like, it's sick that that's not a thing anymore, I guess. Like, and it was a thing, and it's going through a new era. And we'll look back on this era and be like, what the fuck? But yeah.
It all comes in circles too, you know. It comes back around. It's cool you're watching the old shit though, because you can't deny the style of the old shit is just fucking awesome, you know. And
it could just be because it's August, and then I'll go like November, December, like I'll get put onto all this shit. I'll get super hyped. Whatever.
That's true too. Huh?
And it's just
August, you just hyped to see some snowboarding. Now you're just like, show me some shit. Or I guess you're maybe
just like not thinking about it yet, or something like that. Whatever. Still trying to skate, or like both, but there's not as much that's coming out that you're like hyped on as you get older, maybe.
Well, it seems like you've had and just to rewind it back, we have a little note that we have on this bucket in front of us. It says, I don't know the key to success, but the key to failure is trying to please everybody. Mentality of not just staying in our lane and saying what we think. But circling back to what you said, yeah, I've noticed being around you, snowboarding, skating, whether it's a skate clip or a snowboard clip, like you're not going to put it out unless it's to a certain standard. And I just was kind of wondering, like, how your methodical thought process works as far as getting tricks and keeping that standard up, and almost like a less is more type of thing. Or
I mean, I'm lucky to be around like people like Tanner, and like even being around like the Keep the Change dudes back in the day, like the filmers that have like a proper influence on like what you should and shouldn't put out, that'll like give you that harsh, like, no, that's not coming out or whatever. Like, no, we won't use that. Like, that's good to feel early on, so you know. And I think as you get older, you're like, I'm watching clips, you're like, yo, that one's whack, this one was more powerful, whatever. But I think powder is just, it doesn't always line up. And like when you get those like good days, you get the good days and you get the good clips. And like, I'm definitely not trying to like put out stuff that I'm not hyped on and that's not like somewhat progressing off what I did before, whether it's like terrain wise or it's a completely different project or it's trick wise or whatever it is. I think there needs to be an evolution. And I always respect the skaters that capitalized on like what their skills were and took those skills to the fullest ability. And like, you know, I'm not like the craziest jumper or whatever, but I'm like definitely trying to look for new ways to like keep myself entertained while filming, while also like trying to do like some stuff that's maybe not like always like shown, like whatever it might be, even if it's just like subtle changes. Like a lot of stuff's been done, so it needs to like be packaged nice and subtly like, you know, out there. Like you can't just like flood the gates with like an Instagram clip every day and like, or not even that. You can't flood, like you can't just like flood yourself out there for everyone to see, because there's so much going on and there's so much like crazy oversaturation. Like luckily with Vans and with some of the people I film with, they've helped like encapsulate like, oh, this is like a couple years of some like hard work, which is rare these days.
You're basically making yourself a commodity. It would be if it was
what I noticed, which I thought was really cool, and Oli Gagnon even mentioned this, like last night you hit me up because you wanted to have a say on what his photos were going to be for the bomb hole. A lot of dudes don't do that, so it kind of shows that, you know, you're Oli even said, yeah, he's very particular about what he wants released and what he wants out there, and kind of controls the flow of his photos and picks the right style. A lot of guys don't do that, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
it kind of goes along with what you're talking about here.
Yeah, I honestly, I never really looked at that. So when you bring it up, I don't know. I feel like when I get a clip, I'm like, I'm hyped on it. I want to put it out. You know what I mean? And maybe like it just comes off that way. And I don't know. There's a lot of like, whether it's skating like in a My War, and you're like, even if it's just like we're just skating like street spots literally for fun, just to like get like clip high fulfillment and like see famous spots, whatever you got to do. But like me and Boggs will go for like a My War on a skate clip.
Dude, Boggs is...
Yeah, and whether it's me filming him or whether it's him filming me, and it's like maybe even starting to get more dangerous than some of the snowboard clips. You know what I mean?
Boggs for sure.
Just
dude.
like us two, like literally just us two, maybe a couple other homies. Sometimes us two, like out in Long Beach, like in like an industrial zone, or like, you know, in some crazy spot.
And
like,
it's all just for fun.
Yeah, and you're just like, I want to get this Insta clip, but like you'll land it like a couple times, and I'll look at my style or whatever. I'll just be like, what the fuck? Because you're just like watching all this crazy skating all the time. And like, dude, like, can't. I'm already like pushing it. Like, we can't put this out. So I got to do it good, you know. And I think like even though we're joking with that, that translates to snowboarding. Where like, I think that it's more important to like feed Instagram with cool shit you're hyped on and clips that are whatever, and you know maybe drop old clips, whatever. But like, it's important to still encapsulate what you really want to put out there to the world, and like work somewhat hard on just like, I'm not saying it has to be insane, but just create a vibe and create something and put it out so it means a little bit more than just like dropping a part every single year, or like drop whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
sick.
It's like a, you know, a musician that puts out too much music, and you're like, you don't give a shit, but then that musician that puts out an album every 3 years, you're like, oh fuck yeah, let's do this.
You're excited
You
for
know?
it.
Yeah, they also film on like 16, and a lot of the footage, like I just kind of take on my own that doesn't make the cut, and a lot of footage doesn't make the cut. So it just ends up on Instagram, or I'll throw it in like an iPhone / extra footy edit or whatever it is that I've been starting to do. But yeah, I mean, I want to put out stuff.
Seems like you kind of cracked into the social media scene early with like the B Proddy Productions shit. Like you kind of got a grasp early and figured out making the iPhone edits and like creating a vibe.
Yeah.
That shit's sick. Yeah, more kids needed like that. I like that vibe as opposed to just like, I don't know, check me out. It's like a different kind of feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was always into video, like editing and filming with my friends growing up, and just like idolizing skating, snowboard videos, and surfing, whatever. Like I was like a product of that. So when Instagram came along and I realized you could like edit stuff together and have like whatever, like it was, I didn't even know it was sharing stuff when I first got Instagram. I thought it was like an app that you was just like, oh, this is how you edit shit, and it saves to your camera roll, and then you can like upload it to whatever. And then it was then it like saved all this shit, and then I realized it was a social media thing.
Oh,
like that's
shit.
how young I think how early I was on it maybe. And then it was like, oh okay, like whatever. Then now I don't. Now it's like a fucking love-hate relationship with
it's
everything.
wild.
But yeah, those early days it was fun. It was like more creative at like the very beginning, you know. But yeah,
we should take a cut. I gotta piss like a racehorse.
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Back to the B-hole. Where were we? What were we talking about?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You know what? I'll get into a Patreon question.
Yeah,
Let's do
get
that.
into one.
So this is from Chris Cord. He wonders what it's like for you being sponsored by a multi-sport outdoor company like the North Face. What types of experiences you've had that maybe you wouldn't have had just being sponsored by strictly snowboard companies? And are there any other athletes on the North Face that you've gotten close with?
Great question. Wow, appreciate the insightful question.
Yeah,
Good give him an air horn.
Yeah. Appreciate that Patreon support.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Shouts.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the support from the North Face is huge. They've definitely been like the driving force in keeping me going, like almost like 10 years with them. So that's I am over 10 years, which is insane. There hasn't been anything like too crazy. Like I definitely somehow like know Jimmy Chin through like Jackson Hole, and like
No, that's a serious name drop.
Yeah.
Dude. You can't just casually say that.
He's like, he actually taken it back to that A Rob trip when he passed away. Jimmy Chin donated a good amount of money to that trip. To like someone set up some donation. It was A Rob's mom or something to finish the movie, and he dropped money to like finish the movie.
That's
just like
incredible.
out of nowhere.
Let's give him an air horn.
Yeah, forgot about that. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's a connection right there.
Yeah.
To answer the question, that was kind of during early North Face times, and they do these athlete summits every year, and they'll be in some kind of cool locations. We went to Puerto Rico 2 years ago.
Are you the only non-climber in the whole summit? Because it seems like it's all like
Yeah, everybody's just,
mountain
like,
climbers.
ripping climbing. And at those summits, everybody's kind of like trying to compete against each other for like
Are
who
they?
got the most gnarly one day. Yeah, dude, Cedar Wright one time. So it's me, Cole Navin, Kyle Martin. I think it's Cole's like first athlete summit. And we're chilling, just like we're doing this hike. We run into some climbers. We do a little rappel off this cliff. We're chilling. It's like sunset. Cedar Wright, like legend climber, homie, like North Face athlete, longtime dude, like awesome personality, awesome dude, like always saying hilarious shit in meetings and stuff. He has this like fly wing, this paragliding wing, and we're in Moab, so it's like the hill goes up and then it's like the cliff. And on the hill, like the like red rock, that's like covered in sagebrush, rocks, all that. There's like a couple benches, but like he's trying to like take off of like basically nothing, like a hill that goes up, and he's trying to take off at the top. He lays out his wing. We're all watching him. He goes first try, blows it. Thing catches on some sagebrush, like wing doesn't go up. Homie runs. There's this like rock at the bottom. He's trying to get off like this rock, and like that's his last step, and he jumps. Just like, nah, like first time doesn't make it. Second time, we're like, oh shit, like help him unpack his wing. It's getting dark. Camp is meanwhile below, like down in the abyss, all the like gnarly athletes are back there. It's like cocktail hour. They're running like beer miles where like you got to run a mile, chug a beer halfway through, relay with like 5 people. I don't even know.
That's what they do for fun.
Yeah, they're gnarly. It's cool. But second try, we lay his wing out for him. We were like holding it for him, all of us, up on like as tall as we can. Me, Cole, Kyle. This dude tries to take off again, blows it, no wind, like runs off the cliff, like eats it. We're like, okay, he's packing it up, like he's done, dude. This is crazy. It's getting dark. Everybody's watching too, like pretty far down below, but you can hear like a couple yells. Meanwhile, Renan and I want to say Sam Elias are climbing this huge wall, like next to us. And it's getting so dark, they forgot their headlamps. They taped their phones onto their helmets with duct tape, and they're climbing, and they have to finish in the dark. So they're just like, yeah, we had to finish. Like, they're up there in the dark, so everyone's watching them. Meanwhile, homie's trying to take off. Like, maybe that was a little bit after more dark, and they're like, third try, we're holding it all up. He finally takes off, just like so rickety. Like, there's like strings were like missing out of his chute when we were setting it up. Like sagebrush like everywhere, rocks everywhere. It's like goes up, takes off, sails back to camp, and we're just like
in the dark too.
Yeah, in the dark. And we go back there, and that was like when Kyle Martin was working there, and he's just like busting out puffy jacket, brand new puffy jackets. Like, here you go. Like, these are, just like, what is this? Like, it's insane.
Just
like,
crazy scenario.
Yeah, just like super cool scenarios. They're always like bringing together, like, I don't know. They're bringing speakers on this. We had Wim Hof that year. Wim Hof came, and we all did.
Jesus.
We all did a breathing experience in an ice bath, and then I have a little video of him doing a little like one-handed arm stand. He got a photo for his gram. He bounced.
Really?
Yeah, one day.
How often they do these things?
That was every year. They didn't do one last year or this coming year because we hit Puerto Rico. But yeah, they're super supportive.
And you've been with them 10 years. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
You know what cracks me up is also thinking about, you're like, oh, I can't record till later today. I have a Zoom meeting with the North Face. Now, to me, my bros in any sort of professional meeting is just fucking hilarious. Like, what do you guys even what are you guys even talking about in these meetings?
I mean, it was cool. They hit me up just for insight, like 30-minute Zoom meeting for insight, like not too much heads up, just like feedback on product and marketing, which is like, that's awesome for a brand to just do like a quick check-in. And I think they've adapted to the Zoom life. Everybody's working remote. Everyone's out of office. They just moved headquarters to Denver, and we've been doing weekly Zoom meetings.
If you're a smart brand, you're hitting a dude like him up, just picking that brain.
Nah. But dude, a Zoom meeting is hilarious. I got on the first one, and you just like all of a sudden you're like, oh, dude, I didn't even know I had Zoom. Did you guys know you had Zoom on your computer?
I didn't know I had
Zoom.
I've
done it. Yeah.
I never even knew I had it. They're like,
but
oh yeah,
it comes automatic.
It's like
I don't know,
Safari or something.
Dude, I got an email like we're having a meeting, like a team meeting, and I'm like, oh, I've seen this on like recently, and it was like right beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, click this link. Oh, boom, like app was just, I'm just like on camera. Like in a meeting with like 30 people. I pressed like one button. And like my microphone's on. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden that just like happened. So like I've done a bunch of like that. It's cool to stay connected. But yeah, dude, I'm chilling in like shorts.
And you're saying there's people holding babies and just
there's
kids
like
running
dogs.
around and dogs.
There's like people like kind of flexing, like working out.
Really?
Yeah. People with their cameras off nowadays, just like whatever. But
just a fat kettlebell just doing curls right through all the meetings going on. That's a heavy flex.
Dude, you were talking about those climbers with their headlamps on. Dude, last night I drove up the canyon and there's fucking headlamps everywhere.
Yeah,
people
dude.
climbing rocks in the dark.
That's crazy.
I was kind of tripping on that, dude. I didn't know it got to that level.
You ever see the movie Meru?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's a good movie. That's like you asked who my favorite movie earlier for Patreon question. I'll drop it. Also, Meru is insane. It's a documentary. Jimmy Chin, Conrad Anker. It's like
gotta peep it.
Basically like a movie that you would watch that is like to get like a drama adventure type like movie that you would watch like a blockbuster, but it's not edited like that, but it's like actually a real life story that happened.
Wow.
So it's like a documentary. It's like a documentary, but when you get out of it, you feel like you watched a real movie because it's like you get that effect, but it was also real life, like not like it's like the true story in a movie. It's like
Yeah, that sounds dope.
yeah, I remember being inspired by that movie.
We'll have to give it a view.
Yeah.
One thing I've always tripped out about you is I strapped into your setup last winter, dude. Like, let's talk about your setup. The thing is
talking
soft.
posy
The thing
or
is
what?
soft as
What are you
hell,
running?
man. And
Is
I was
it?
like, how do you lay? I always came from school of stiffer board is easier to land.
You said he's a light chassis though.
Yeah, I mean, I probably just have I have a pretty weird setup, probably, just like a little bit lanky, a little bit light, lightweight.
You don't even sink in.
Yeah,
Just float on top.
And over the course of riding GNU boards, I got like super used to like the C2 camber, so it's like it's reverse camber, and I think a lot of the samples I've been riding have been a little bit more reverse than they're supposed to be. So the new models coming out are a little stiffer.
You rock reverse camber?
But it's like a flatter, like camber, reverse camber, like
flat then
concept.
reverse.
Yeah.
This is a pro model board?
Yeah. So they actually blessed me with the Hypercarve, the Hyper Keyarve.
You're throwing out a lot of jargon that I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
Hypercarve C2.
Well, that's the name of the model. The
Okay.
C2 is the name of the camber.
All right.
But they came out with this board like 5-6 years ago. I started riding it and then kind of like started giving feedback and then turned into my
yours.
pro model. I've been riding this board like I can't get off it kind of. And I'm down to just like keep it consistent, and it's been getting stiffer, but yeah.
Is this a sample with no art, or you just don't?
No, this is the graphic for next year.
It is.
Yeah, so yeah.
I'm seeing stickers.
Yeah, there's stickers on there that I added, but no, it's just like a white top sheet, blue base.
Clean. You
yeah.
got that
It's
bomb hole
basically
blue
a
on there
soft-
too. I
yeah,
like
that.
that.
That is the bomb hole blue.
It really
And
is.
It's like a soft setback floater paddleboard, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's supposed to be like a little bit more aggressive going forward and stiffen up a little bit. But basically, I'm looking for like responsiveness and to be able to kind of like ride anything, but specifically like freestyle smaller powder features, but also like you can ride it and hit big stuff too. Like I was riding like a 150, like a lot of people have been riding smaller boards, and you can like definitely get away riding a smaller board if you have like the right setback and like what you're doing. I just need something that's gonna like this thing turns on a dime, does everything I want it to do at any moment, and I've gotten so used to it that it's kind of just like been perfected to kind of be like a resort all mountain easy to ride board that it can like you can learn stuff on. That
You're not a quiver guy. You're a one.
What
board,
size is it?
One board Johnson.
Kinda, yeah.
One board Johnson.
Yeah, switch sizes.
One BJ.
Yeah, one BJ. What size?
This is a 57. I'm off a 57 and a 60 usually. Yeah.
And you're pretty tall, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty tall, but I only weigh like 145 pounds ish.
One of those snow elves.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't sink in.
Yeah, don't even
Stays on
sink
top.
in.
I'm trying to gain weight,
He's
but
just he floats, just stays right on top. Back to the powder riding situation.
Mm-hmm.
You ride lines and natty features and pat downs and sneaky pat downs where people don't see you pat them down.
Sneaky
but
Pete's.
the sneaky Pete's, we call those.
Yeah.
We actually don't
We
first
don't
timer,
call
but we're
those,
gonna
but
start
that's
calling them.
kind
that.
of think they should be
might
called
have coined that term.
Yeah, we're gonna call that because a lot of times you think it's natty, but somebody snuck in underneath,
Yeah.
patted
yeah.
it down, and then snuck out of there. Right?
That's true.
That's the sneaky Pete.
That's a sneaky
Yeah, that's
Pete.
So-
was that a sneaky Pete?
Is that natty or is that a sneaky Pete?
It's a sneaky Pete.
But when we're talking, whether we're talking sneaky Pete, we're talking
Natty Deutsch.
natty sploich,
Splizoich.
which is an untouched feature for the layman's. Like if you're riding a powder line and nobody's it's a first time going down it, and you're busting a 360 off something, you have no clue how it's going to react, right? What percentage of these sneaky Petes and or natty sploiches go according to plan?
I think they go according to plan, like somewhat well most of the time, but in order to have one actually be climactic enough to create a video shot, it takes like that special one where you went fast enough to get the pop, did the trick, combined it with whatever else, and like sometimes you're like didn't even get a chance to look at the line homie set up, and you're just like, yeah, just like film this, and like then you end up doing something later after you've looked at it or whatever. But like first try on something, it's like you really has to like, yeah, you just has to look at the takeoff has to be poppy. It has to like look like it has to be something, or sometimes you just like overshoot the whole thing, die. Don't go big enough at all, or like, oh, that would have been like really sick, but just like you popped out of frame. Like you got to do it again just to get a good one, and then the second one's better. Like, you know, I don't know. The very first try is, I wouldn't say I'm like, I've never been to Alaska, so you know, I'm only really riding like more mini golf stuff or whatever. I've ridden some stuff in Jackson, but if you plan it out well enough, or maybe you've ridden it before, then it goes well. But if you're hopping in there, you gotta hope for some luck.
Are some of the stuff's resets where like you hit it and then it didn't go that well, but then you're going back after a snowstorm and trying it again? Those are where the magic seems to happen sometimes, I feel like.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like, I think, you know, snowboarding may seem kind of like this far out venture to go film backcountry snowboarding, and that kind of sucks because it takes away access from a lot of people that, you know, should be riding it and doing it. And there is a lot of easy hiking access or whatever. And I think it's cool to kind of compare it to skateboarding in a way where like there's spots, you hit the spots a couple times, maybe the spot changed over the years, and like maybe not everybody's going to recognize it anyway, but I've hit plenty of jumps where I've hit them, they didn't go well, or like they went super well, whatever it is, you want to come back and hit them again. You got a trick in mind. Sometimes powder riding is like, you may not get the option to hit it. Like, there might only be one zone with one landing that's still good on that trip, and you're just like
cooked or something.
And you're like, well, I know that jump's good. We hit it before. It's good for this. Or like, there may be something where like, oh, we had a session on it, and we'll adjust. Like Pat this year pulled some snow. Pat Moore pulled some snow down while filming. Like, we hit this jump. It was kind of like this natty. Like, it was a what was the term again?
Sneaky Pete.
Yeah, it was a sneaky Pete. But you could kind of tell because, you know, you could see like the run in a little bit, but it was like a no block jump, and the landing had a kink in it, and Pat just like hikes up there, fills it in after the sesh. Is like, well, I end up coming back here and hitting this thing. Fills in, snow's like 20 inches. Like a couple days later, we come back, hit it, know how it
smoothed out the kink.
Yeah, know how it works. You can kind of see like one old landing track maybe, but you're like, oh yeah, like you know how it works. Landing's better now. Like, it takes that sometimes.
Like a golf replace your divots kind of scenario.
And it's like, I don't know, comparing it to skating where you're just like, yeah, dude, like went to the spot, had to go back to the spot. You know what I mean? It's just
back
like
to Hollywood High 6 times.
Yeah, like I think it's funny to have that kind of like the funny little parts about it, like the My War stories or whatever. Like, you got to seek out like the fun in that in a way rather than like.
And then the homies are like, we're going back again. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, yeah, sorry. You know what's cool about powder, though? You look at rail riding or contest riding, it's a young man's game. It is a full...
Contest riding?
Yeah, like it's like there's like an expiration date on contest riding.
Yeah,
and
powder's kind of for life.
And then powder, it's almost like you age like a fine wine. Because there's no... You know, it takes experience to be good at powder, like knowing how fast to go. Like every year you gain more and more experience, and that's kind of cool with POW. It's got a longer
Powder's kind of like riding a bike life. Too, you know?
Is it?
Well, for me, you lose jumping a bit.
Yeah.
But like ripping the POW is something that I just seems like you don't lose that. As you get older anyways. You guys aren't there yet. See what happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think just like riding like the street, what's happening in the street stuff, it's evolving like so fast, and you got to be up on the trends, and like so much respect to like, and the contests, like those worlds, like I kind of like envy like what's going on in street riding, and I like watching it a lot, and like the contest stuff, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but like respect,
yeah,
you know, and
that's how I feel.
I think powder is just a cool kind of classic look at snowboarding. Maybe if you're looking at it completely broad, you're just like, here's a little bit of like what it's all about, kind of, or just like, yeah. And over time, like, even though it's maybe like people have always hit big stuff, people have always done big tricks, but it's still always I'm still driving to see that next dude that has like powder footage or whatever, you know, the same year. Like, doesn't matter what it is, like certain jumps get old, but yeah, it's like snow's different every year, vibes different every year, spots need to pop up, like still needs to live, you know?
You mentioned you've never been to Alaska. You see yourself ever trying to get up there?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to. I don't feel like I'm like setting goals and like unrealistically chasing them. I want it to happen like in a way where it's like, oh, this crew lines up and these are the people I want to be like riding with here. Or, like these are the conditions, or this is the project. A lot of times if I would have taken my opportunities to go to Alaska that I've gotten, I would have missed out on actually filming shots in Canada, in Jackson, that I ended up getting that were last minute, or Chatter Creek or something like that, which was a little bit more predictable and a little bit more like friendly to ride, where yeah, like it's a bucket list, but I'm not like not sleeping at night. Like I want to just keep myself hyped on where I end up, you know.
It's a lot of money. And you might sit up there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Waiting for sun or weather.
I'm sure it's worth it when it works.
Yeah.
And like I saw like that movie Energy that Drinkwater put out with like Austin, Brian, and Curtis. When they went there, they like strike missioned it like 4 days, like 1 day ahead of time, just like all killed it. Austin rode that insane line. That's where you're like, damn, like sick. Yeah.
Comes from experience with those guys, huh?
And you had kind of a formative trip with those guys back in the day when they did their Mediocre Madness. That seemed like a cool deal.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was like maybe one of those trips when you're like young and you're like pivotal age category. You go on something like that. End of the season. I don't remember what. That might have been end of the snowboarder year, like the forward year maybe even. And yeah, it was kind of, we had met Brian and Austin and Curtis and them, and I looked up to them. And basically what ended up on the trip is Brian's kind of like really cool at making stuff happen for us and like helping us out when we go to Oregon, helping us out filming, like whatever it is. And he got all like the Lick the Cat dudes together, kind of like just like me, Sam, and Matt. I can't even remember who was on this trip. There were so many people, like Max,
like Lewif and stuff.
And then like, yeah. And then like those, and then the Drinkwater dudes who I looked up to, and then like Lewif. Yeah. It was just like this also there.
Yeah.
And like so many people, like all my close friends, plus like all these like snowboarders that are older that we're like looking up to. And it's just like a road trip throughout Oregon. We're staying at like Foster Huntington's like tree houses, skating his bulls. Then we're like on the coast, like all surfing, like crazy like rogue wave hits us when we're all like around this campfire out at Pacific City on like this peninsula, and we're watching these waves all night come in. And then this one, it gets dark, we go build this campfire like and the way the rocks formed is it like goes up, comes down into this little bowl, and we're in the bowl, and then the ocean's like on the other side, and the tide rose and this huge wave came in and splashed up over the rock, and a bunch of water came down in the bowl and came down through all of us, took out our campfire. Like Tanner was there, like Jake Price, everybody had to like grab their like cameras.
Oh,
like
shit.
I think Tanner had just got a red camera. Shit was like floating in this like river. Or maybe he grabbed it. He might have grabbed his shit early, but some shit was like floating, like speaker was gone, like music just stopped. Everybody was just like all kind of drunk, out of their mind, like just like kind of these like, I remember looking out at the ocean on that trip. You ever have like, you know, like moments of serendipity? Like in that like phrase where like you kind of just like, holy shit, like everything's going like so well, or like this like I just am like so fulfilled in life right now or whatever. I remember like having that out there, just like so funny, just like, yeah, like this is so sick, like all just like drinking on the edge of this huge cliff on the ocean after like hitting this like big like spring hip with like all these people. And yeah, just next level trip that I remember like going on and leaving, and just like I'll always look back on. Kind of.
Yeah, that's a cool, and the whole video Tanner TP cut together.
And Hava was on the trip they like invited Hava on the trip for like 4 days or something, and he was just like, I didn't even know this was a snowboard trip, just like didn't bring clothes. We were blasting Rihanna one morning super loud, like blasting it, and he like gets up and he's just like turns it on. I don't know if it's like a direct quote, but he was just something like, I'm so tired of this shit, like Hava just like freaking out and just like turns it off, and then like comes out laughing like an hour later or something. Just, I don't know.
Classic Hava.
Yeah.
So tired of this shit. Well, man, I think we kind of fucking covered some serious ground. What's next for B Proddy?
Yeah,
what are we thinking?
next?
What's on the horizon for the kid?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's some stuff. There's a Vans project coming out this fall that has kind of like I've actually have like 3 years of footage in, but it's like a couple trips a year.
Damn.
like kind of like not full on every year. And then this last year we went a little full on until the shutdown. So yeah, that project's coming out, and everybody's got like insane footage in that, like Parker, Sam, Arthur, Cole, Pat, and like the whole crew, Dan, and yeah, definitely hyped on seeing that. And the horizon, I mean, this year's interesting. We definitely have like some footage that's like that we've been filming at Brighton a lot, and maybe, you know, we can kind of continue to do that and, you know, travel around locally and film Powder, go up to Jackson. And I definitely spend a lot of time there in the winter and hope to do that. I don't know. I just want to keep, you know, fulfilling what's out there in this community. Like I said, I think it's like snowboarding will always be there, and it kind of sucks because a lot of times these days you hear like negative talk about like the glory days of boarding and like what's getting passed around now these days in terms of support. And I think snowboarding is just like, it's always going to be here, and I'm always going to be stoked to be a part of it, and always like kind of stoked to progress on what I'm doing. And, you know, whether it's just like continuing to film or be involved in certain projects, like just working with like all these people, and like the support from Vans has been insane, and kind of their give back to snowboarding with like hooking us up with these filmers and continuing to support the long-term project. And I hope there'll be some more of those. And
Beautiful.
Well, keep on keeping on type of scenario.
Wrap up. We have
oh yeah, we have a couple things here.
Well, we got a couple things.
we got well should we talk, let's talk about this raffle real quick.
Yeah, we just got a pair. I talked to what do we got? We got
Vans boots. I don't know what these are.
Yeah, this is just a nice prop. You're going to get this on your doorstep if you win. Vans is agreed to give away a pair of boots along with the prints we're doing for the show to benefit the Dylan OJO Foundation.
So we'll be having a raffle. You'll be able to find it on our Instagram and also on our website, bombhole.com. Along with that, so you'll buy a ticket. You'll enter yourself into a raffle. Winner gets a pair of Vans boots. They get to pick off the website any pair of Vans. And then also on, as far as the prints, we have a bunch of signed Blake prints and
Shot by Ollie Gagnon.
Shot by Ollie G, the legend who gets an air horn. And all the proceeds, again, go to the OJO Foundation, which is a beautiful thing. So go ahead and make sure
I also got, I know you guys hooked me up with the video part gift, but I got a couple bags of coffee.
Always bringing a gift.
Oh. Yeah, we got gifts here.
Yes.
This is Overview coffee from Alex Yoder, who like hooked it up overnight style. There's a little note here that goes with it. Each got you guys a bag.
Shout out to Yoder, man.
Yeah, Yoder's saying thanks for sharing with Stony Buds and Gren Diesel. So you know Yoder's staying on top. He knows what's going on. Coffee is big biz, which means lots of cheddar biscuits.
He's raking in the bisque.
Our goal is to use that bis to help farmers grow coffee in ways that benefit them, their soil, and the world by utilizing regenerative organic agriculture. Which, yeah, you can look into Overview Coffee. It's kind of, you want to feel good about what you're buying and supporting a snowboarder and coffee that gives back. Definitely check them out.
Yeah, keep it in the community.
Yeah, that's what's up. There's so many snowboarders that go on to do such rad shit, and people need to support that. The community needs to look out for that.
For sure. And I don't mean to be like negative in the beginning part when I'm talking like, oh, I'm only like paying attention to 10% of snowboarding, whatever. Sometimes you can feel anti-inspired, but just on that subject, like there's so many avenues and ways in which people are flourishing and like stuff where we can like kind of utilize like through all the internet and social media, which is like so much creative, insane shit going on. And yeah. I figured I like when people bring gifts.
Dude, no, we appreciate
this it. Should become something other guests should start doing, you know what I mean?
And also, if you see us spracked, like shaking, breathing into a brown paper bag on air, it's probably because we're about 14 cups of this deep. The thing that's a trip about this is I was just hanging with Yoder in Oregon, and I was online today, and I was like, oh, I've been meaning to buy some of Yoder's coffee. I bought I bought some of this coffee
Yeah,
this
that's
morning.
insane.
So
This morning.
I was like, I'm gonna, because and also I'm like, I want to
man.
support this snowboarding. I was thinking it would be cool to be like drinking his coffee while
That's
we're
a
on the podcast.
Synchronicity,
So
right
yeah,
there.
we're all synced up over here.
Yeah, that's good.
That's pretty amazing. Back to supporting snowboarders, man. You know what? If Andrew Crawford can go to school and work for NASA after snowboarding, man, snowboard community can do anything.
The sky's the
That's for
limit.
real.
That's actually past the
Sky's
sky because he
the
went
limit.
to the
Yeah.
he went to the space.
To space.
Yeah, true.
He went to the space.
Maybe he knows if the world is flat around.
He's probably got some alien intel on us too.
I actually,
Buds, any alien
dude,
updates for
One
us?
of his workers actually hit me up to say he watched a podcast and he was talking about Crawford, and I was like, dude, you guys work for NASA. What's up with aliens? Fully ghost the question.
Really, he
I asked
dodged
him
it.
like twice or three times. Like, yeah, but what's up with aliens?
Dude, he's got it.
Yeah,
dude.
I think they're maybe not allowed
But then
to
they're
talk about it.
dropping that like they're kind of doing like a
Soft opening?
soft opening on the yeah, we got aliens.
You know what?
That's what's going on right now. They're just like, that's what I'm hearing. I'm not paying attention too much to the alien world, but like,
Well, I get it from Buds. Buds claims it is it's a drip. It's like a drip system.
And I like a soft opening, if you know what I mean.
It's a sexual innuendo.
No, I was talking about the soft launch. with
Oh,
no, I
okay.
guess that's just a sexual innuendo. Anyways.
Okay, so any updates on the aliens, Buds?
Oh, dude, I mean, where to begin? No, just kidding. I'll tell you what, just know that they're real and the soft launch has happened and they might be among us.
pretty soon they're gonna drop it like 2020. Shit's firing
Dude,
off
this
crazy.
would be the year to drop it, though, you know, with everything
I've
going
been
on.
seeing the memes like, yeah, they're dropping aliens in December.
Yeah. I have actually seen that.
You know
too.
what? That could be a whole new line of outerwear for brands to start. We do like male, female line, and we also have an alien line.
Alien.
They like a soft board.
Shredding on the moon, dog.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this shit up. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you, and we will see you next week.